Basement Bookers Podcast.
What's up? It's your boys, the Basement Bookers Podcast, coming to you. Sorry, forgot aggressive, guys. Listen, a lot of you you're not new here. You're new here, baby. Some of you came here. But welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. We are 1 week removed from the best Money in the Bank since the last Money in the Bank. Once again, also the best heat wave since the last heat wave. And of course, discussing the best Monday Night Raw since the last Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I am Basement Jer, your undisputed champion of the basement and the first in history to beat a man in 71 seconds. Rich the Riz, the most Rizzest, baldest man. Feel proud.
At least I still have that title.
Because up until now, the longest record for losing a championship has been 10 seconds. Last man standings, counting to 10 and all.
Right.
But the ref had to count to 71, Rich Perez.
Mm-hmm.
So really feel, some people 3 seconds at average. Then you get the 10 for the last man standing. But then there's the prediction championships where anything can happen. Anything. Right. And it did happen. It was foretold. I don't know where to start here. I do know that we should probably start with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We have one Money in the Bank briefcase currently in play. Ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert to the rest of the podcast. This Money in the Bank brought to you by Trish Stratus cans. That's right. Trish Stratus cans. You can use them to store all sorts of foods. Get your prep work done. $9.99. All right. So there it was then, the sponsor to the podcast. Many basement dollars raining down. What is it? A rising Basement Bookers podcast raises all boats. And you can trust me because I am a podcaster in a hat and headset. This is trustworthy information. And of course, always accompanied by a bald man in headphones on a wrestling podcast.
That's right. I am also here. Yes, I can speak. I was kind of just letting Jared have his championship moment. I did have my basking. Intro.
I was basking in it. You still no, get out of here. Get out of the way. I was gonna do like a thing where I just pushed a little thing out the way, but I could do that, but that's work. So we'll just pretend that I did that.
Just imagine.
Let's bring it back in. Let's bring you back in. Okay, you're back in here.
Thank you.
Rich Perez, my oldest, baldest friend, with me today. He's been here forever, and now it's time for Rich Perez to walk us through what happened at the Money in the Bank. We started with, of course, the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yes, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match opened the show. This prediction I got right. I picked Drew McIntyre. I called like the whole thing. Son of a bitch. 71 seconds. We'll get to that.
You called
I was right.
Thing.
You were wrong. I was right.
You were right because, remember, Drew McIntyre is Irish cursed. If I were to pick Drew McIntyre, he would lose. Mm-hmm. So really, I thought it would be Jay, but, you're not the only one who called it down the middle because when we get to the main event, I did say last week, if Drew does win, and he tries to cash in, CM Punk is going to fudge him.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. You were in agreement. at the fudging
Mm,
that would occur.
mhm.
So I don't want to take away from you taking us through this Money in the Bank ladder match.
New flavor of WWE ice cream bars. CM Punk fudging Drew McIntyre. Get yours today.
I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. Uh, I'm
Fudge.
sure there is a market for that though.
That's yes.
On principle, on
Right.
principle. I'm not messing around until that Irish curse that was put on the Scotsman is lifted.
Right.
Which, yeah,
What I was gonna say is Jay has another purpose. It has not like we haven't seen any motion towards it yet beyond simply Solo running rampant with Bloodline 2.0, but we know they are working towards Bloodline 2.0 versus Bloodline. My prediction is it will be Roman and the Usos and Sammy versus Bloodline 2.0, and
I
that's going to
think
be good.
the first thing that has to happen is for Roman Reigns to show back up at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to show up until SummerSlam.
right.
Probably after Solo fails to beat Cody.
Hmm.
Um, so Ed, but with Jay though, would you say that this would conclude the beef between Drew and Jay? Because Drew threw that ladder right into Jay's face.
Like a javelin, I'm told.
Yeah, like he took Jay, like he's directly responsible for Jay not winning the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Hmm.
So that might be the end of that. It might be that they're done.
It could be, but they could definitely always circle back. I don't think it'll circle back to where, I mean, it might circle back to where Jay has beef with Drew for costing him the Money in the Bank, but I think it's more of Drew's gonna just throw another tantrum. Maybe Jay will, to his perception, screw him out of something else. But I think they can circle back.
Personally, I don't think they should. Because if you think about it, Jay started it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And like Jay's the good guy. He's the face.
hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he lost that match fair and square. You
Hmm.
know, it's not like Drew stole it from him.
Right.
Like he did what he had to do to win the match,
Hmm.
right? So I think personally they don't have to, but if they do, that's fine. But I
Hmm.
think Drew McIntyre, if he was smart, he'd be making friends. He'd be making at least a friend of convenience because we'll get to the main event later. We'll just
Hmm.
put a pin in that. This Money in the Bank ladder match was pretty decent, but it wasn't the most violent, I would say. Not to compare, but there were some spots in the women's one that I was like, man, that shit is crazy.
There were on my end. There were a lot of ooh moments.
There was one was it Zoe Stark? She
Hmm.
came off and like the ladder. It was
Yeah.
her and Io, I think, and like
Yeah.
her face
Hmm.
hit the thing. I did like when Io like almost destroyed Lyra Valkyria like off the ladder like that
Oh,
when she's
the
hanging.
yeah.
Like Lyra was hanging down or whatever,
Hmm.
and it's just stomping her or whatever, and it's like that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. The women's ladder match. Like as far as all the big spots, the one that actually looked like it was executed best and is comparatively most safe was Chelsea at the end going through the two tables.
Yeah, you if you pause it, she's falling like this,
Yeah, which is perfect.
like you're and like into the table,
Hmm.
and then it makes the noise that
Yeah,
we all like. That's what
yeah,
we asked for it for, to hear the
and
noise.
yeah, and what I like about it is that the protection for that it doesn't look as if like when a wrestler takes a just a bump on the mat that it's always you see the arms flail out and you're like okay that's how you're supposed to fall to not hurt yourself and also it does get the sound effect that does its job. But just falling like this legit looks like you're trying to protect yourself because there's nothing you can do to prevent this fall.
Yeah, this is happening to me. There's nothing really here that's going to happen other than me meeting the ground.
Mm,
So,
hmm.
or table. Hmm.
Through the table.
Right.
Devon!
So I accidentally skipped, but that's okay. It's just going to be in the order that I have it here.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we have a new Miss Money in the Bank. We called that. It was going to be Tiffany Stratton. I believe it was poetically the one that we first picked to win before, or at least I picked to win, was Chelsea Green
Mm.
before Tiffany, and Tiffany killed Chelsea Green to get the briefcase.
Yeah, who now has a bedazzled neck brace?
Yeah, and I guess they're trying to start a cult, or maybe Piper's trying to start a cult, but she's got a book. It says how to start a cult. She was reading the whole time on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's all about. Like somebody told me they didn't know she could even read, and I'm like, of course she can read. That's a book. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess like she's seen Sanity. She's got the bloodline. She's got the bloodline going on now.
the
There's
Bloodline's not a cult.
there's
It's a family.
right.
The
It's a real
hell's wrong
family.
with you?
Like it could be a real family and a cult at the same time.
No.
Being a cult doesn't make it not a family.
Yeah, but sometimes sometimes like when you call it yourself a family and you're not a family,
Hmm.
that's a cult. Sometimes, right?
Sometimes,
Right.
the David Koresh kind of.
I think the way it works is the difference between a cult and a religion is that your guy is still alive. I think that's the
Yeah.
difference. um I
So,
mean on a broader sense. I back to wrestling.
right.
Anyway, so yeah, that's why we don't take bumps because we're not protected. We don't
No.
have the buff. Um I thought it was fine. A lot of people were not happy that Naomi didn't win. A lot of people wanted Naomi and Jay to win their things, and it's like, how long have you been watching this? Like, what? It's usually a heel,
Yeah.
and if it's a face, it's like it's a rare thing. But I really like no one else logically should have won that briefcase. It was Tiffany Stratton as soon as she came into it, at
Yeah.
least from me.
What they could do, um, bring Nia into Bloodline 2.0, right?
I mean,
Because
she
I
threw up the one. Uh,
she did, and in the documentary, she was the first one Rock went up to give a hug.
well, maybe because she was a gorilla and she's related to him.
Yeah, but this was edited. They could have taken that out. They could have changed the order of things. They chose to put that first.
Okay.
Anyway,
Um,
so yeah, so you bring Nia into Bloodline 2.0. You bring Naomi into Bloodline.
yeah, you could do that, or you could just leave them women out. Like it could be a man thing,
You could, you could.
because War Games ain't gonna be, ain't gonna have a lady in there with the men. I
Hmm.
think the whole time it should be the ones that are gonna throw hands with each other all the time
Hmm.
to throw hands.
I agree. I agree.
And
Let's.
like the tribal chiefness, that's like these are like it's like old school, like the tribes, the men of the tribe will quarrel and they would decide
Mhm.
who the chief is. They wouldn't defer to the all right, we're not gonna get into that. So you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
I do.
trying to
I
say.
do.
We know.
I hear you.
Us men know. Me know. You know. Man know.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not gonna have
That's called
male
cave.
on. They're not gonna have male and female physicality. As long as they're not on Netflix, meaning as long as as long as it's still PG.
Yes.
Um,
You stay in cave.
yeah, but like there could be like a soft affiliation, and like Naomi and Nia would feud, but they don't have to be like full-fledged members.
Yeah, because I'm trying not to get into NWO
Yeah,
late stage Wolfpack.
yeah. I gotta
Like,
try.
welcome to the bloodline, Corey Graves. Like,
Yeah,
I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, Byron Saxon. You can't, we gotta, like, we gotta stop.
Iron.
let's keep it. Yeah, that's how diluted it would be. Like, all right. So, on the order of fairness, let's talk about what this was. This was an upset, I believe. One of many upsets, I believe, from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, some might say. Braun Breaker failed to defeat Sami Zayn and become Intercontinental Champion. It was a haluva kick that sealed the fate of Braun Breaker.
That's right. Sammy in Canada, man.
He's got
He's
powers, man. The only one he can't beat is Roman Reigns.
yeah, like he's like Captain Canada, but you know what? I'm definitely okay with this. Like they could make Braun work a little harder
Sammy
before they get
Hogan,
involved.
brother.
Yeah, he's Sammy Hogan.
What you gonna do?
I liked it. I like the finish.
Yeah. So what the main event wasn't. What's wrong picture? Sorry, guys. The main event wasn't this, but some other things happened.
Correct.
Some extra curriculars. Now, first, a valiant match. The usual one-on-one contest. You barely got a lot of Seth Rollins and Damian Priest, I feel like, in that match.
Right.
It happened fairly quickly. And I believe it was after this occurred right here. Hopefully I put the right thing here. Yeah, there we go. Get ready, guys, because this is from there.
For the title, Seth got it now!
Where is that referee? He was trying to
Fudge.
on me.
That's what I saw.
Yep.
So
I don't know who screwed up there. Like, did
that
Priest?
referee tried to fudge on Seth Rollins.
Well, yeah, but Priest did not get a shoulder up. Did he not hear the count? Did he think the ref was still at 2?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Or, I mean, like, I feel like.
But wait a minute. Oh, maybe Priest was waiting. Like they didn't give him a chance to kick out, right? Like maybe it was going to be one of those like 2 and 0.999, and he just wasn't good enough at it, and they gave him the call to stop pinning.
I
They're in
feel
the
like
headset.
Yeah, I feel like his shoulder still would have gone up. What'd you hear in the headset? Because
No, I meant in the referee. They have an earpiece.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it could potentially be that maybe that's when Drew was supposed to come out and the ref was going to stop his count because he's coming out.
Yeah.
Although not for nothing, if that's what they had done, why is the ref stopping the count? The match hasn't changed yet.
Exactly.
So, I ultimately
music is supposed to distract wrestlers.
Right, not referees.
And there was no music yet.
Mm-hmm. So one can only speculate as to who screwed up. I mean, Priest screwed up. It's just kind of a matter of why.
Yeah. And Triple H is like, well, the referee's, decision or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be the referee had a better view of it than we did. That Priest maybe like bit
of
just
nothing.
That.
One more time, carefully, because I'm gonna want to.
For the title, Seth got it now!
See, like, there's no acceptable thing. One more time for the slow people.
For the title, Seth got it now!
Seth's, even if the ref, right, is looking off to the side, Seth's leg is on Priest's arm.
His left arm.
Yeah, it's not going to come up. Well, I had to flip it, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Like if see, they're not going to release another angle because at another angle we're going to see
that his shoulder's straight down and he didn't do shit.
Yeah.
That's 2 pay-per-views in a row, buddy, that you fucking up. One, he didn't kick out at, that freak of nature with the leg thing through when he got stuck. That could have been slippery rope or whatever, but
yeah.
You know what, man? You on the come up, bro. You need to get it together. All right. I know you're distracted because of the Judgment Day.
Boss is high on you. You gotta
Yeah,
deliver.
you gotta be gente. Come on, man. You my people. You gotta stay the course here until Gunther beats the shit out of you at SummerSlam. All right. You just need to. I need you to get me there. All right. We just need you to get there because Gunther's gonna beat the shit out of you at SummerSlam. But listen, here's the thing. You got a chance. You got 50-50 chance of winning here. But here's the thing. Gunther, he ain't normal.
Right.
So really, you have less than 50% chance. You've got like a 30% chance winning. And that's with Dom, if he's even alive. That's with Finn. And that's with JD McDonough. If he doesn't get popped like a pimple by Braun Strowman.
Right.
And Gunther has no distractions. He hasn't even been wrestling. Dude's been training in the gym probably. He's been studying tape. He's been watching you. It's a wrap. Just counting down. Just hold on to that belt of yours because it's over. Ain't no money in the bank going to protect you now. It's gone. Now you can't do even better. You don't have to worry about it now.
True. I don't know about Gunther going over Priest. There's going to be some kind of chicanery.
I mean, this is the same guy here, right? The same guy that thought the Bloodline was going to lose at Money in the Bank. So really, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can accept that from you, you know? But you've been right before about crazier things.
Yes, I have. And we got 3 weeks to figure it out.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's 3.
SummerSlam, brother.
3 weeks.
Right.
3 weeks.
Like the number of seconds that Priest's shoulders were down.
He shouldn't be the champion right now. But he is. And good for him. So what we alluded to is that, and I hate that I passed out on Monday because I'm watching Raw and I find out that the mixed tag team match is the main event. I'm like, oh, okay, Rhea Ripley's coming back.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep. I didn't get there. I woke up the next day and I was like, Fudge. It's like I knew she was coming, and then she was there. And then
she was.
You know, she's popping out just about. She's a married woman now.
Yeah.
And I
she got
think
that +2/+2 buff.
Yeah, I think Dom's done though. I think
yeah,
I don't know how he's gonna smooth this shit over. Like, honestly, he needs to find like the nearest battered men's shelter. Because you get a reservation or something. That's what you're going, boy, if you don't wind up in the hospital first. So,
yep.
You think you got that Kavorka, bro. Yeah, you ain't got that Kavorka. You ain't got that. You ain't got it. But yeah, so CM Punk, he comes out there and just right there, he just comes in and it's all legal because it's a triple threat match.
That's right.
I know he's Irish. He's been Irish cursed. But, my man, why would you keep saying what you're going to do? You keep saying what you're going to do. Somebody might be ready to stop you from what you're going to do, especially after you got some weird bracelet of his with his dog and wife's name on it or whatever.
Might be worth 50 cents.
It might be worth 50 cents, but it's worth the world to CM Punk, apparently, to almost strangle Drew McIntyre. And listen, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have reason to believe that CM Punk has an inside referee. This is the second time I just have to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
What did Drew McIntyre do to Jessica Carr? For her to once again, and I've got video evidence to prove that she's on the take with CM Punk. Okay, I'm going to play a video here. This is video evidence. It's going to be right in the middle of us because I didn't plan this properly. And you're going to see right here. See Jessica Carr, how happy she was that CM Punk was going to check her oil. But let me tell you something. That was an illusion. That was a show. She was like pretending that she was trying to get a handle on this guy, and then the smile as she walked away. Who got him the referee shirt? This is a conspiracy against Drew McIntyre by Jessica Carr, who's involved with CM Punk somehow. I think we got to be careful now. Now we have to look at all her matches because now they're all in doubt because she is compromised. You're supposed to be like, we already knew she was a Cena mark. That's okay. Think about it. Think about the visceral reactions she has when bad things happen to her heroes. John Cena. Friday, the look of horror on her face when Randy Orton was assaulted by Midline. Okay, assaulted by Midline right in front of her, and she was horrified. And CM Punk is from that time too. So think about it. She's not a mark for herself. She's a mark for them. Anyway.
So Jessica Carr or Aubrey Edwards? Who's worse?
Aubrey Edwards every time. Every day. Like, I can have concrete evidence of Jessica Carr's wrongdoing. I'm like, but Aubrey Edwards, she keeps those faces. I can't. She needs to cut the shit, and there we go. Yeah. And I was hoping. Look, I need to talk to Mariah May for a second. All right, since we're talking about AEW, I need to talk to you for a second. Now, we all know, as listeners to this podcast, 2 weeks ago, when we did the picks for the last Forbidden Door between the best Forbidden Door, you know what I said? I said, the winners of these Owen Hart Cup matches are winning the whole fucking thing. And what happened?
They did it.
Won the whole thing. And Daniel Bryanson, which, by the way, I wasn't too sure about because that motherfucker loves putting people over. But he actually got the dub. Next time you decide to take liberties with someone, just remember, Aubrey Edwards is not a good person. She's a mean referee, and I'm sure she's counted your shoulders to the mat. And how do you know she's not on the take? So maybe she should watch the show. Maybe she should watch the show. Maybe she needs a little Tony Storm in her life. You feel me? You feel me? On a professional wrestling level, obviously.
Clearly.
Obviously. I'm tired of the trolls. Can you see the shine, though, on them diamonds? Like how it's just streaking across the screen there? I can't be the only one to notice that artifact. Look at the gold just shoot across. It looks like it's real, but it's 100% not. Like, it looks real. Like it's actually off of some diamonds and shit, but that's actually not. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Right there, like there.
Shiny objects.
That's right. So speaking of
my head's shiny. My head.
I was gonna try to relate that to the wrestling, but
okay.
I mean, yeah, it is. It is kinda. Maybe that's what happened to the belt. It's just a cascade of shine. So I know you didn't want to discuss this, which is why you're trying to, draw attention to your beautiful bald head. But here it is. The MFT, NFT, Solo, the Samoa Werewolf, and Tanga Loa, man. He sucks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, bro.
Mhm.
Like, it's not hard to hit a low blow, but like, was when he hit his head at the table? Was that before or after the low blow?
Before.
All right, so maybe it disoriented him. But when he went for the low blow,
Mhm.
he hit his brother on the head first, and then
No,
he went again.
I think that was actually the second time. The second time that
Oh,
he low blow that he hit his brother. I think the first time he got like KO in the
he's trying to check his oil.
yeah.
All right, yeah. One more time, striking oil. Okay, Jesus. All right. Um, that happened, but yeah, he's the only like. It's like you know who your guy is. Like you know who the guy is. Like, cause every group has their guy
Mhm.
except for Judgment Day. Like everyone's good at wrestling there.
Yeah, but JD's the fall guy typically.
No, but I get that he's the fall guy in universe, but he doesn't botch.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
true.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So he's like a pro. Like I don't know a lot about. I know that he's a very scary man. This Tanga Loa, that's him, right? That's the guy.
Yeah.
That, but he's not great. I don't think, which is probably why he wasn't involved.
Mm.
But I had no doubt in my mind Solo was going to be involved because, as we come to find out for sure, that's how we got the SummerSlam main event, probably,
Yeah.
which is Solo versus Cody
Kind
because
of
he
crazy.
pinned Cody.
A year ago, if you said Solo Sikoa would face world champ Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, the main event.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, it might have been leading this way the whole time. Because I don't
Mhm.
know if you remember it, but after Cody lost to Roman, he was wrestling Solo like all the time. I think he handed Solo his first loss too. Might have been a second, but like for a while, Solo was like he couldn't be beat,
Yeah.
and
And you
Cody was like whooping him.
and then you complain that they got nothing from uh, Chap their Cena.
I mean, they they kind of didn't really. Like all they got was the payoff of Cena giving an FU to Solo to the announce table at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
so like to the point before, like it looked like they were leading to this because like having Cody and Solo work all the time, probably to get it to here. Like I'm not saying like Solo's green or anything like that, but I'm saying maybe that was what the path was always going to be. You know, because they've always been the subtle Solo wanting to be tribal chief.
Mhm.
You know, it's always been there. We've seen it plenty of times on the episodes and on the shows.
Yeah, and then Roman said he is the next tribal chief.
The point, and also the point of the spot at the last WrestleMania match Roman had was like, "Go get him!" I know. You know, that interaction seemed, oddly specific.
Mhm.
So it's always been heading to this, and the eventual return of the tribal chief, which will be at SummerSlam.
That's right.
What was it the last time he came back at a SummerSlam? We were never going to see it coming, remember?
Yeah.
And Roman came back.
Mhm.
So,
One thing confuses me. In the Bloodline 2.0 vignettes, they like this is how they salute, right? Which
interesting.
which I
They
gotta stop
changed it.
doing. Yeah, they have ever since they started doing those vignettes. It's been this, but on the live show, they're doing this.
Do you know why it's this, Rich Riz?
No, why?
If you notice, my finger is not totally up
Mm-hmm.
and it's not totally down because they're fucking mid. All right? The midline. That's why.
Okay. There you go. There you go. It's canon.
Oh, God.
Midline.
I am
Bloodline.
loyal to the tribal chief, Roman reigns. I will always be loyal to one tribal chief, and it's not gonna be any line that acknowledges Solo Sikoa as a tribal chief. You midline. You midline. Bloodline. All right, not midline. Okay, you either
Bloodline.
midline or bloodline. You're one or the other. Email in.
Yeah, let us know.
Because original recipe bloodline's the best bloodline. That's
Mhm.
just the way it is. Anything else is a spinoff, a side project,
Mhm.
a poor adaptation.
Definitely a spinoff.
Definitely a spinoff for sure. And yeah, even after that segment, I'm like, no. You can shield bomb everybody for all you.
Mhm.
You're just cosplaying, brother. You're playing pretend in a grown man, in a grown tribal chief game, son. And you're going to learn when the tribal chief comes back.
You know what? What if, right?
What if? That's what
Under
this is.
under this new regime, they're the midline or Bloodline 2.0 keeps using the shield bomb, right? What if the backstage thing going on is they're like, all right, when's Mox's contract up? Can we get him back? Maybe they're just planting the seeds for in case that happens, they could do Shield versus Midline.
They would be fools. Moxley would be a fool if he were to ever leave AEW. He's got it so good there, dude. He's the first person in history to hold the WWE, the AEW, and New Japan heavyweight championship, the IWGP.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Think about that. He gets whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The travel's fine for him. He's just doing what he wants. I would love for them, like, if they did Shield versus Midline, I'd be the first one to be like, "Oh my god, this shit is crazy." But like, I can't. There's too much hope dangling in front of me. I've given up on Moxley ever coming back, and if he does, I'll probably be too old to care. You know?
What if for him they give him the Roman schedule?
Yeah, but Moxley's not Roman Reigns. It's not even. It's not his. It's not gonna be Triple H's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't be Moxley's fault because he can't change who he is. We saw the champion that he was when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even if they gave him everything he wanted, he's still gonna do. Oh, Mox, man, I'm cool. Oh, I'm John Moxley. I'm just, whatever. I just want to wrestle my match. Whatever. Let's go wrestle. He's not gonna do what they want to do. You know what I mean? He's gonna do what Moxley wants to do. More death matches or whatever. Like.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you, bro. I just can't. It just pains me to see you with so much hope for something that might not happen.
It's not necessarily hope. It's more of I mentally haven't closed the door on the possibility.
I have, for the reasons I've listed. But hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out, Tony Khan. Hear me out, Triple H. What if you could just do it? Like, what if you could just do it? Like, why is it? And I get it. People could say, oh, because they're a threat. They're not. Why is it that they can team with TNA, but not AEW? And it's ego. Because Tony Khan's talked too much shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Triple H definitely talks that shit, but he can talk that shit. But let's stop talking that shit. Hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble because it's just something that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out. Just here. Moxley comes in, does a thing. He likes Seth. He likes Roman. They're friends, as far as I know, in my head canon.
They're
Why wouldn't you
buddies.
try to help out? It's like, is that John Moxley?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a connection between, because Cody knows Moxley.
Yeah.
Spears is in NXT with
Mm-hmm.
only go Ethan Page.
Yep.
And yeah, they're taking shots sometimes. But AEW does it all the time. Let's just stop I know we've done this before, but
Mm-hmm.
especially now, we're in the Endeavor era.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just make some money. Let's do it. Do Rich DeRiz's idea. Okay, just do it. All right, do Midline versus the Shield. Do you know how much money you would make? Shit would explode. It's like, oh, where's Moxley been? He's been
Mhm.
wrestling around the world.
Where's Ambrose
Literally.
been? Why are they
Yeah,
calling him John Moxley now?
I don't. You know what? It could be like a Human Torch situation because the Human Torch is played by the same actor as Captain America. So,
Oh.
and they're both in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
You could just be like, oh no, that's John Moxley. Oh, he looks a lot like Dean Ambrose. That's crazy.
Oh, like
I don't know.
how people mix up Mercedes Moné and Sasha Banks?
That's even more egregious. It's a little bit racist. But anyway, I digress. But what I'm trying to tell you guys
Mm-hmm.
is they don't look at it. They just don't. All right. Just stop it. All right. But they could just do like, well, because it's got to be the Shield, so it's going to be Ambrose. We all know him as Ambrose, but
Mhm.
elsewhere he goes by his given name, which is Mox. It's on his birth certificate. It says it. It says it right there. So who are we to say anything about that?
Yeah.
Really, just I know who we are. Wrestling podcaster in a hat and a headset. Wrestling podcast with no hair and a headset. Baldest. Riz's
There you go.
baldest.
There you go.
Um,
Got to hit those check boxes, brother.
Speaking of check boxes, Money in the Bank. Was it the best Money in the Bank since the last Money in the Bank? 1. 2. How great does it feel to only have the women's Money in the Bank briefcase in play? And what's next for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre? And do you think it involves another man who was slighted? Because people keep talking about Drew McIntyre. They
Mhm.
keep talking about that guy, but they're not talking about Seth Rollins because there was another man with a stipulation on the line. If he didn't win, he would not get another chance at the championship as long as Damian Priest was the champion. So CM Punk screwed him too.
But Priest said, "Nah, forget that. Like I lived up to my gentleman's agreement. I appreciate that you would also, but once I'm done with Gunther, let's run it back."
Well, Seth is still a man of his word, and even though that deconstructs my argument, I think Seth and Drew McIntyre might have a little something in common. I'm just saying.
Think
Here's
so?
what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens, happens. But Seth Rollins gets involved in the finish somehow. And we get CM Punk Seth Rollins feud kicking off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
3 weeks to build, baby. 3 weeks. And Drew's going to be on Monday, but I thought he was suspended indefinitely, and indefinitely means a week.
Punk asked Pierce to release the suspension. He's like, "I'll do that. If he's in a good headspace, I'll get him back here next week. But you can't be here."
So he's totally going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're off to the races. Who knows if Seth gets involved in that too?
I like what they're doing. I like the unpredictability of it.
That's right, Rich. There is. Speaking of unpredictability, let's go through the Heatwave card and maybe talk a little about NXT. So the first match that we talk about real quick is this was a pre-show match, and I believe the heels won. The heels
Correct. Carmen and Ariana beat JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. I didn't see this match because the total show started an hour before I expected it to. That's probably my bad.
Well, yeah, don't they both start at 7?
Well, the show itself started at 7. The pre-show, I guess, started either 6 to 6:30 Eastern time. Of
Well,
course.
that's why I missed it.
Yeah.
Chase University failed to become the new tag team champions. It's business as usual. They did their best, but it wasn't enough.
Correct.
And then we had Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. Kalani Jordan doing it like only Kalani do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Be like Lonnie.
Be like Lottie. And of course, the mountain of basement dollars backed up into my home over this match. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? The streak continued because first you thought Bloodline was going to lose. And then you picked Wes Lee over Obafemi, bro.
I stand by it. Like the
Hey,
Wesley story is he could have won. Now we're taking a turn. We're going to see what's next for Wesley this Tuesday on NXT TV.
Yes, and we already did because
Oh, yeah, that's right. I watched the thing too.
Because it's been a week already, Rich DeRiz. So MSK
Right.
back.
That was it.
When it's Wes Lee and the other guy who had a funny mustache in a picture once, and people canceled him over it for some reason. But when it's
the three of them,
they're the Rascals. I'm not doing that.
That's their thing. You gotta do it.
No, I'm not doing that.
But you gotta.
Doesn't that remind you of Pauly Shore? But
you know what? They probably do it because of Pauly Shore.
Didn't he used to, because he was like the Weasel and Encino Man or something? He was like, and he would do that. He would do that, buddy. Now I've ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Ah, my work here is done.
Yeah, Pauly Shore is on my short list.
So that's great that they're back together. It looks like they might have a little thing going on with Gallus, because they saw them before.
Little 3-on-3.
We try to keep it out of the podcast because it's a little weird and gross. But yes, Rich DeRiz does drink tar, like actual tar. It's what keeps him. See, look how black it is. It's nothing but tar. So he drinks the tar, and it gives him powers, and he uses these powers to get the championship.
I try.
Too much tar.
It's coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee, but adding other things to it adds a lot more calories and sugar than I want to add, and I still end up not really liking it, so I just don't bother. I put a little monk fruit in place of sugar, and I just drink and try to ignore the taste.
Well, Rich, you know who else tried to ignore the taste? It was Roxanne Perez ignoring the taste of another BBL, as they're known to be called. If you know, it's not just Bailey, guys. It's not just Bailey. She got her ass kicked, bro. Lola Vice got like 5 pop rocks in a row.
I think the announce table was supposed to break. I think that was supposed to be like the last real spot in the match.
Yeah. Well, it happened. So that was pretty crazy. That was a lot. So she really put the exclamation on that, like left no doubt. Because remember, Lola Vice is supposed to be super tough because she beat Shayna Baszler in that match that she had. So Roxanne Perez, Underground, thank you. So Roxanne Perez beats her, but we've got competition coming. We got competition coming because the lady that was defeated by Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, Forbidden Door, the last door between the Forbidden Door. She signed with WWE.
Stephanie Vacker.
There you go. I was looking for you to say something eventually, but instead you wanted me to hang myself. But I'm still here. She's got, and you still got, was Julia? Is that how you pronounce it? She's coming
Mm-hmm.
to NXT.
Yep.
So Roxanne Perez, man, she's gonna hold on to it for a while, but it won't be for long.
Plus, Izzy Dame answered Jordan Grace's challenge on TNA TV, Open
That's right.
Challenge, and failed. So we could have another TNA name jump over.
We could. There's so much happening right now. It's exciting,
Bro.
Yeah.
What if, is Mickie James still active in TNA?
I don't know. It's hard with her because, like, you turn around, she's retired, and then you turn around again, and she's on a comeback tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
Oh, like Gail Kim.
Like Gail Kim, she was in the crowd for not Heatwave, but the last one.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, she was a Heatwave. It was Heatwave, right? Okay, so
Well, one of them. But
she
yeah.
was at a thing.
Mhm.
So maybe she'd come back. She no come back. I don't think she'd come back.
If Trish could make another run as much time as it passed for her, they can come back.
I think you're right, Rich Perez. And you're right about the main event. Ethan Page, the new NXT champion. He managed to land. He managed to fall where he needed to. Straight out of HBK finish back in the Dizzy, where John Cena landed on someone. I forgot whom, and got the 3 count. Because I believe he was super kicked. Maybe it was Triple H. I don't know. Either way,
Edge.
Or Edge, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe Edge. Whatever. I should have put the clip up. I'll put it in there. There you go. You see what happened? That's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah. Rich, what do you think about that? What do you believe about that match?
So at first it bothered me that, like, all right, so we had Javon Evans knocked out by the trick shot. Spears pulls Trick out of the ring. Ethan Page eats something that knocks him out. Oh, and then Spears pulls Trick out of the ring. That was it. And holds him so that Trick can't break the pinfall.
Interesting.
So that bothered me, but then he addressed it on NXT TV saying his vision was obstructed when he pulled Trick out of the ring. I feel like that was a good attempt at a save.
Yeah.
But I still feel like that finish could have been planned a little better. What I think maybe is he was supposed to pull Trick out of the ring, and then the two were supposed to, like, brawl or whatever. But, like, the timing was off, and he pulled him a little too late. So what we saw was he pulls him out so he can't break up the cover.
Okay. I would even put it's easier for me to beat Ethan Page than it is for me to beat Trick Williams. You know what I mean?
There's that too, but that's like, I know you're better than me, so I wanted you to lose so I can beat him. It's I feel like heels shouldn't portray themselves as intentionally dishonorable like that. I like a good righteous heel. Like, I'm right, I'm the best, and I'm just going to prove it, and you're not going to like it. Yeah.
So, was that it? The match, just the match, and it just ends, or is there anything happen after that?
No, that was it. We saw everyone that's not Ethan Page looking distraught after the match.
Okay, and then
Spears is like, "Oh, what am I gonna do?"
Nothing came up.
Oh yeah, we had Joe Hendry.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Try not to push copyright, so.
Haha.
You appeared, man. You said his name.
There you go. That's all you gotta do.
He appeared on NXT.
So I
Right.
gotta be careful and not say his name.
Yeah, well,
Be like,
he was on there and he wrestled. He
that's right.
wrestled with
He was
Trick
Trick's
Williams.
partner. I thought they were gonna do it so that Brooks Jensen would have been Trick's partner.
Yeah, I thought that too, because that would have been the logical sense. But then I guess you get,
So
instead.
then that still raises the question of when we saw Brooks talking to someone, whoever, like behind a closed door, a closed glass door, who was he talking to and what about?
I mean, that's a good question.
Hmm.
I think he might be talking to the other guy.
Briggs?
Yeah, and he's just pretending. And because it sounds like the dumb thing that they would do, a stupid ass thing. You broke them up, and you realize they can't work on their own, and then you're gonna bring them together as heels. Like it just feels like that. It feels that stupid because I mean, maybe it doesn't make any sense, and I'm talking crazy.
No, I think it makes sense because when Brooks attacked Javon, Briggs like, "What are you doing, man? I stuck my neck out for you for this," and he's like, "I wanted to make an impact on my first night back, or whatever."
But
So like
beating up Javon, that's what he said.
that is, yeah. I mean, that's kind of making
I
an
know it's just
impact.
the way he said it. It's like,
Yeah. So that could have been like backstage, Jensen pleading his case to Brooks, and maybe we see like a little more of this in the upcoming weeks. But they could then come back together as a heel tag team, being like, Brooks is right. We got to make our own opportunities because they're not going to be handed to us.
hopefully they don't like wait it out too long.
Yeah, and also, who is it? The No Quarter Catch crew putting someone in the trunk of a car.
Well, it's obvious it's somebody whose contract wasn't renewed, who got dealt with the same way. Apparently, the way they deal with people and that crew that
They
don't
they
that get
they
rid of, they
swap
get.
they swap one in, one out. We lose Damon Kemp and we get Tavion. What's it? Tavion Heights.
Who did we get for Gulak?
I guess Gulak was just out. They got to be 3.
They killed him off. Like
Yeah.
So 2 people got killed off.
Hmm.
Oh my God! At least
That
they
parking
did it.
lot, man.
It makes sense though because after losing the cup, Debs, which I think is the Italian Heritage Cup now,
It should be.
it should be right.
Hmm.
Molto bene. Okay, so
Wait. That same segment, right? With them putting Damon Kemp in the trunk. We get Ren Sinclair walk up. She's like, "I didn't see nothing. And she runs off. Do they not care about the camera that's filming the whole damn thing?
no, the camera's us, like in a movie. Like, how are we gonna know what's happening if we don't see it? Maybe the cameraman's in on it.
And airing it to the world. But they don't want Ren Sinclair to know. Because she'll tell the one person that I guess is in NXT management that doesn't actually watch the product what they just said.
Exactly. Also, an example of like how authority figures work on that show. When stuff like that happens, attempted murder, all that stuff, I didn't see nothing. So I think there's a deeper problem at NXT. We got to take a look down there. I'm not saying Jessica Carr came from there, but Jessica Carr came from there. And I think the corruption is deeper than we know. There's layers to this. Okay.
They got to start by cleaning up that parking lot.
Threads and connect them all. here. They're all there. And Ava, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah, insert that Charlie Kelly image there.
I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. Richard. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I did it. I did it for the people. You watched that documentary about The Rock. Obviously,
Oh yeah,
that
Rock,
documentary was about The Rock, right?
good old Rocky Horowitz.
Dude, don't even try it, all right? We all know the meme. Have you seen the meme going around? Like
I
the
did.
the template is now, and then I
Mhm.
said,
And then I told God, you should rest on the seventh day.
and then I told Rich the Riz, you should shave your head. And that's where I got mad. That's where I got mad.
Because I was there, and you told me that.
Exactly. That's when I got mad because The Rock is like, oh my God, he's doing the Hulk Hogan.
Like so I said to Frank Gosh, I'm like, brother, you should probably throw this match, brother. And that's how pro wrestling was born, brother.
And that's when I told Frank, bring a snake with you wherever you go.
Inside baseball, but
Ugh.
if you don't know Frank, you all know a Frank. And I'm sorry.
God, so funny. I had to throw that in there because that's like The Rock is such an asshole sometimes, and he's not even trying to be like he's probably the best guy. That's the problem when you're like the best.
Mhm,
It just comes off so like, and that's what I said.
mhm.
Like, I'm starting to think. I don't think it was your idea, really.
Mhm.
But I think contractually and egotistically, you had to do it that way. Like, can we just make it? All right, there's only one way I'm budging on this.
Mhm.
It's got to be my idea. That sounds like what The Rock was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear
Mm.
that $7 production made a deal with Disney?
No.
Like, that's a huge thing. I don't know what exactly it entails, but The Rock reported it on his Instagram or something.
Mm.
He said he dreams of having Rock Cheap Meals restaurant at the Disney. You know, because he has epic cheap meals apparently.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, or like an Iron Paradise gym at their hotels is what he was saying. So you work out all that stuff, you know, in the
Yeah.
basement. Oh, and the food, and also yeah.
But you know, like that's perfect parallels. You got the gym and you got the cheat meals, and they literally kind of feed each other because you got the cheat meals. Like, all right, I gotta go to the gym now.
Exactly, Rich Derez. Exactly.
It's like owning a Taco Bell and a porta potty stand.
Rich Derez. Before we leave, which by the way, let's put some distance between those stands. I wanted to mention something because you brought this up of what Collision put up against Money in the Bank. And I don't know like what the ratings are, but they probably took everyone from Money in the Bank because you had Jungle Boy, formerly known as Jack Perry, the scapegoat,
Mm-hmm.
versus the returning Marco Stunt and what was probably a squash.
From what I saw, it was a squash. But I mean, like, must see programming right there.
Look, you got to make sure, you know, you got to put your, you know, you got to put it in there, you know, you got to get that so, you know, takes up space because then you're not putting up your good shit
Mm-hmm.
against a pay-per-view.
I guess, but I mean, it could be said that they were on a collision course.
Well, I guess that means we're out of here because, I don't know if you know this, but Joe's going to be off TV to film the second season of Twisted Metal, that show he was doing season 1 of, which I still haven't seen and I heard is good. So it's on the Peacock, so you can watch it there if you need to. But you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. You have a lot of things to do. Everybody has a lot of things to do. So we thank you for coming here to the Basement Bookers podcast to talk about the best Money in the Bank since the last Money in the Bank. We shot the shit a bit here. We talked a lot about the heat wave, Rich Riz. How do you feel about the midline? Did you also enjoy Midline or Bloodline 2.0, whatever you want to call them? Did you like Money in the Bank? Did you like Heat Wave? Do you like Rich Riz's baldest head? Ladies, comments. And also, who's ready for All in Wembley when it's Tony Storm versus Mariah May? Who do you got in that? But yeah, those are the questions that I ask. Comment down below. And yeah, Rich Riz.
Yeah, comment down below. All our socials and everything is in the Patreon, which is of course linked down below. And Joe's got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the Booker.